Meaningful. How do we know our life has meaning? That we have added some goodness to the world? We may think it is something like how well we do things, how many people we've helped, what organizations we belong to, how our children turned out, how successful we were in our careers. All of these things, people, organizations, children, careers, can give meaning to our lives, but that is only part of the picture. Actually, all of these things are an outer reflection of our inmost being, of what really matters to us, what we value. Each one of us lives that out and expresses it in a unique way. So the first two questions, what do you value and what matters to you? You may think these are hard questions to answer, but just reflect on your life. You will see the answers right in front of you. Because the things you value, the things that matter to you, will be evident in every part of your life, and if you look back throughout your entire life. Say, for example, nurturing children and seeing their potential was one thing that you value and deeply care about. Well, as a young person, perhaps you did babysitting. And as a young adult, perhaps you volunteered at a preschool program. And then maybe when you went to college, you specialized in early childhood education, and perhaps you even opened up a daycare in your own home. So do you see how one value has been expressed over a lifetime and in many different forms? Your decisions about where you spend your time, who you choose to be with, and where you spend your money reveal what is important to you. You don't have to figure it out. It's already there. I can think of an example here at Unity Comox Valley. We have an earth care team who is passionate about protecting and sustaining our natural environment, our natural resources. I know that there are teams in both the Comox Valley and in Victoria who recognize, who are deeply concerned about the community members who are struggling and want to find organizations to support those people. There are others who are drawn to the creative arts and recognize the important role of art and music in people's lives, and they dedicate their time and energy towards that. It doesn't mean that they don't value the environment or don't support social service agencies. There is room for everyone to give from and be involved in a place that reflects their values. So what stops us from giving life expression to our values? I thought of two things. We may reflect on what we used to do and think, I can't do that anymore. Well, of course not. None of us can. Remember the example of the preschool teacher. It changed over time. When she was a child, she followed her interest in one way, and then shifted to another way as she grew older. So we can always find new ways to express our values. And the second one is, we often see barriers where there really aren't any. All of our great leaders, visionaries, and teachers did not stop at perceived obstacles. They either kept moving forward or just plain did not even see them. There's a great story about a 61-year-old farmer in Australia, and he heard about a race, an ultra marathon, 843 kilometers, and he thought to himself, I'm a pretty good runner. He had a sheep farm, 3,000 acres. He spent all day running all over those acres with those sheep. And when he was growing up, he was young and they didn't have, equipment to do that. It was up to the kids to run all over and gather the sheep and direct the sheep. He thought, I'm a pretty good runner, maybe I should just enter that race. And so he showed up in his coveralls and his work boots, surrounded by young athletes, world-class athletes, in their expensive running gear. The grueling race usually took 7 days. And there's pretty much how it went was there's 18 hours of running and 6 hours of sleep. Well, the race started. Cliff ran all day and all night in a very particular kind of shuffle, not really fast at all. And although he was far behind at the beginning, he started to move up and up over the days until at the end he won the race, breaking the record by 9 hours. Everyone was astounded, as you can imagine. And when they asked him, where did you sleep and how long did you sleep? And he said, sleep? I didn't know you were supposed to stop. I just kept running. When he was awarded the $10,000 first prize, he said he didn't even know that there was a prize for winning the race. And he said, give $2,000 to each of the next 5 runners who come in. He didn't keep anything for himself. What if we didn't know what should be hard? What if we just set our sights and moved with and listened to our hearts? Think of what we could accomplish when we put our perceived limitations behind us. We are never finished with what matters to us. It is always with us. We just need to find new ways of sharing it. A Chinese proverb says, a bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. And you have a song. Yours is original. It comes naturally because it is who you are. The last question for today is, what if this could be easy? Well, I have a feeling Cliff was just having fun when he decided to enter that race. And what did that one fun thing lead to? He spent the rest of his life running for charity until he was 87 years old. He raised tens of thousands of dollars for good causes. What if, instead of looking at how to live a meaningful life as an obligation or a responsibility, we could see it as fun, like a game, like a treasure hunt? Can you give yourself the light touch and be gentle with yourself? Make sure that you have a few good laughs every day. Approach something new with curiosity and openness. Recognize and acknowledge what makes you unique. Helen Keller said this, I am only one, but I am still one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. Look at how you express your gifts, when you express them, and who you are with when you give them. And that's the spot of fun and easy. Anytime we feel a sense of heaviness or there's a struggle of some kind, we can take time to just stop and look again and see if we're creating this barrier in our own minds. The season of Lent is approaching, and that is a time to consciously bring to mind something that we may, or more than one thing, that we may want to let go of. And perhaps something will come up to you now that you can consider releasing in the season of Lent. As the author said, these questions are not to be answered once or quickly. They are to live with us as friends, showing us the way to create a more happier and meaningful life. What matters to me? What do I value? What if this could be fun? I'm going to share another reading with you from this book by Martha Smock. The title of the chapter is, You Are a Joyous Journeyer on the Path of Truth. Have you ever thought of yourself as a joyous journeyer on the path of truth? To do so makes every day an adventure in living, learning, and growing. Even as a joyous journeyer on the path of truth, you may have problems to solve, challenges to meet, limitations to rise above. Every time you use the truth you know, apply the principles of the Jesus Christ teachings to your daily living, you make progress on your spiritual path. Whatever your needs or challenges, you have the power and love with which to meet them. As a joyous journeyer on the path of truth, you can meet the experience of your life with faith, with love, with patience, with understanding. As a joyous journeyer on the path of truth, you do not walk alone. You do not live unto yourself alone. Others are with you on your journey, and as you share your faith and love with them, you help to make their life journey a happier one. So thank you for being part of this journey and sharing your faith and love with each other.